guys? God damn, it feels good to be back. 3 days in bed, fucking whatever I had kicked my ass. But feeling good, feeling really really good. So not trading tomorrow. It's Sunday night, so I'm not gonna be trading Monday. Gonna give myself one more day to fully catch back up on everything. But wanted to kind of come in and share my overall thoughts for price potentially heading into Monday. And my overall views on the week. So again, mapped out these areas last week on one of my breakdowns, and pretty happy with them. Could change a couple things up, but overall, I think for some of these high time frame, really key areas, I think they're holding suit pretty well. One thing I do want to note is basically right where price pulled down to. Right, we've dealt with this area before. We've dealt with the breaking of this area. We've executed on the breaking of this specific zone before. I think it was 2 weeks ago now. But overall, really watching this overall zone. Again, this is a heavy rejection area to the upside on the daily. And then on the 4 hour, it's kind of that same thing, right? If we do see price break below, we have a really high chance of this next zone being tapped into. Being roughly 180 pips to the downside. I think that move is pretty smooth. Right, looking for that break and potential retest or overall target that next area. We do have that 618 kind of lining up down into this area for that potential retracement kind of to continue back up. So really keeping an eye on this whole move to the downside. I don't think, in my opinion, we've really seen a strong resistance point, whether it's on the lower time frames or the higher time frames in this general area in between these zones. So really, in my opinion, if the momentum kind of pushes us down, I think we should have a clear path to at least tap into this overall next zone down. Again, mapped out these areas last week. Debated on moving them around a little bit, but really they've kind of held suit through last week. Again, we had a super choppy week last week, a couple breakouts of this zone, but overall, really never even saw a whole move until Friday's session where we completely flipped to the downside, broke through this key level, targeted that next area, ended up closing my trade a little early. Could have brought the weekend to a good note, but overall managed risk. But that's kind of behind us. Again, you can see super consolidated last week, and we finally see that breakout to the downside. So heading into tomorrow, really looking at one, again, how price is going to react to this area right here, right where price is sitting right now. I think if we see that breakdown and then that potential retest to kind of target this next overall move, I think that makes a lot of sense. But overall, if we see this support being held here, potentially looking for that kind of that push up to show we're holding that structure, kind of that retest, and then maybe that overall move to kind of catch that retapping of this next zone up. If you kind of miss this move to the downside, I really think we formed a strong level around here. Yes, we had a couple break belows, not really during our true session. So in my opinion, we've held this support pretty well. So if we do see it kind of come into play, looking for that potential break of structure to the upside, that retest, and then that overall kind of continuation to the top. Right? So again, we have this strong level on the daily. If we pull this back to the daily level, you're going to see we have this strong resistance to this zone right here, kind of flipping as current support. And what you're going to see on the daily here is we have a clean structure to the downside if we do break through this zone, right? If we begin showing resistance to this overall zone, or support, kind of resistance breaking below, support to the bottom, potentially looking for that move to target that upside. But overall, I think the best move would be really waiting for price to break this structure to the downside and catching that move to the bottom. Or two, really looking for price to really show it's going to run bullish here. Look for that lower time frame pullback on a fib and catch that move to the top side. If we miss that, or if you miss that, looking for overall break of structure to the top and catch that overall move to the upside once again. I think what we did see, and I kind of said it going into Friday, is that bullish momentum slowly dying off. We're seeing some really good runs pre-market, but when the U.S. market actually kind of opens up, we're seeing a lot of that bullish momentum really die off. So what I do expect probably is to see this bullish momentum kind of rise, kind of going into London, and then potentially targeting this short if we break below this structure going into tomorrow's NYSE open. So again, kind of my rough thoughts going into Monday. Again, drew these zones up last week. We do have that higher time frame fib kind of coming right into play as far as where that indecisive level is. If you look at that on the daily, once again, it's right in that wick zone, right? We've seen price fail to break above, and then we've seen price use this as overall support recently. So heading right into that area, again, it's on this higher time frame fib, it's that 50, that indecisive level. I'm really anticipating price to kind of pull back down into here before we see this whole move kind of refilled later in the week. But again, anything can happen. We could see this whole move filled up tomorrow. But I think going into tomorrow's session, I think these are the safest play moves, right? Either looking for this price to break this structure here to target this next move, or wait to see that bullish pressure really take over, hold this as support, execute off a lower time frame fib, and then target the upside. If we see this zone being rejected and holding, potentially the same thing, kind of this opposite flip side, right? Looking for that move down, kind of that lower time frame fib to target this overall area once more. I think those are some solid ideas. Again, if you see that bullish pressure really take over, potentially getting this target break out of this zone for that retest, for that overall continuation up. But I think these ideas make a lot of sense and hold some value going into Monday, right? We had that strong bullish pressure kind of take over Friday and really hold suit right at this level. So again, we can kind of already see that this is a strong level of support. So if we break through this, one, on the higher time frames, you see the previous market structure. We have a high probability of tapping into this area. And just that overall daily level being that such a wick rejection area. And you can see this clean structure to the left once we break below. Again, those are my thoughts heading into Monday. Taking tomorrow off, going to fully recoup. Be back Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., ready to crush it this week with everybody.